427 Archbishop Sisinnius I of Constantinople. In 1065 Ferdinand I, the Great, Count of Castile, and King of Leon, dies. In 1069 Godfried II, with the beard, Duke of Neder-Lutherans, dies. In 1257 John I, Count of Hainault 1246-57, dies at 39. In 1380 John of Neumarkt, German bishop and chancellor to Holy Roman Emperor Charles Roman IV, dies at about 70. In 1453 John Dunstable, English composer, dies at approximately 63. Portuguese explorer and Viceroy of Cochin, dies at about 55. In 1541 Andreas R. Bodenstein von Karlstadt, radical Lutheran, dies at about 61. In 1548 Maximilian of Egmond, Dutch Count Stadtholder of Frisia, dies. In 1660 Mary Maria Henrietta, English Princess Royal, Princess of Orange, wife of William Roman II, dies of smallpox at 29 NS. In 1707 Noel Coypel, French painter, dies at 78. In 1812 Joel Barlow, American diplomat, author and poet advised to the privileged orders, the Hasty Pudding, dies of pneumonia at 58. In 1813 Go Sakura Matsuchiko, 117th Empress of Japan 1762-71 and 8th woman to rule Japan, dies at 73. In 1823 Philipp Christoph Kayser, German pianist and composer, dies at 68. In 1862 Joseph Funk, early American composer, dies at 84. In 1863 William Makepeace Thackeray, British novelist Vanity Fair, dies at 52. In 1865 Sir Charles Lock Eastlake, British painter and writer b. 1793. In 1868 Adolphe d'Archiac, French paleontologist and geologist, dies at 66. U.S. Secretary of War during most of the American Civil War 1861-65, and U.S. Attorney General 1860-61, dies at 55. In 1872 William John Macquorn Rankine, Scottish mechanical engineer and physicist, dies at 52. In 1873 Johns Hopkins, American financier and philanthropist, founded Johns Hopkins Hospital and Johns Hopkins University, dies at 78. In 1877 Robert Parker Parrott, American inventor, developed the rifled cannon known as the Parrott gun, dies at 73. In 1885 Louis-Prosper Gachard, Belgian historian, National Archives of Belgium, dies at 85. In 1889 Jan Jakob Lodewijk ten Kate, Dutch poet and clergyman, dies at 70. In 1897 Marshall Newell, American College Football Hall of Fame tackle, Harvard All-American 1890-93 and coach Cornell, Tufts, dies in a railroad accident at 26. In 1898 Eugeniusz Pankiewicz, Polish pianist and composer, dies of general pierces at 41. In 1898 Sharbel Makhluf, Lebanese monk, canonized in 1977 by Pope Paul VI, dies at 70b. 1828. In 1904 Julien Dillens, Flemish sculptor, Anspach Monument, dies at 55. In 1907 Isidor Feinstein, Izzy Stone, journalist, I.F. Stone's Weekly, dies. In 1908 François-Auguste Gevaert, Belgian composer, Laudable au Moulin and musicologist, dies at 80. In 1909 Nicolaas Pierson, Dutch economist and politician, Prime Minister of the Netherlands 1897-1901, dies at 80. Scottish naturalist and discoverer, glacier in High Seirras, dies of pneumonia at 76. In 1919 Theophilus Van Kannel, American inventor of the revolving door, dies at 78.1. In 1923 Gunnar Nordström, Finnish theoretical physicist, gravitation, dies from pernicious anemia at 42. In 1926 Johan Castberg, Norwegian jurist and politician, Castbergian Child Laws protecting children born out of wedlock, dies at 64.1. In 1930 Edgar David, German politician, Constitution of Weimar, dies at 67. In 1930 Oskar Nedbel, Czech composer, dies at 56. In 1932 Eyvind Alnes, Norwegian pianist, organist, choral director and composer, dies at 60. In 1934, George W. P. Hunt, American politician, Old Warris, first governor of Arizona, 1912-17, 1917-19, 1923-29, 1931-33, dies at 75. In 1935, Alban Berg, Austrian composer Wojciech Lulu, dies of sepsis at 50. In 1936, Dragutin Gordanovic Rambajer, Croatian paleontologist, discovery and descriptions of the Neanderthal remains from the Huenčekova rock shelter at Krapina in northwestern Croatia, dies at 80. In 1938, Bruno Tort, German architect, b. 1880. In 1940, Rudolf Pisk-Eck, Czech composer, dies at 56. In 1941, Siegfried Alkan, German composer, dies at 83. French Admiral of the Fleet during WW2 and Vichy Prime Minister 1941-42, assassinated at 61 in his headquarters in French North Africa by resistance fighter Fernand Bonnier de la Chapelle. In 1942, Friedrich Kloss, German-Swiss composer König Elf, dies at 80. In 1942, K. Beaumont, writer, dies at 75. In 1944, Joseph Gustav M. Raczek, German violinist, conductor, composer Max and Moritz, and pedagogue, dies at 66. In 1945, Francisco Pujol, Catalan singer, choirmaster of Cattle, composer, and musicologist, dies at 67. In 1952, Hans Kramers, Dutch theoretical physicist, worked with Niels Bohr on electromagnetic waves, dies at 58. In 1953, Ralph Linton, American cultural anthropologist, tree of culture, dies at 60. In 1955, Nana Bryant, American stage and screen actress, ladies of the chorus, Harvey, Brewster S. Millions, dies at 67. In 1957, Norma Talmadge, American silent screen actress, Within the Law, Sign on Bay, dies at 64. In 1959, Edmund Gooding, British screenwriter and film director, Grand Hotel, Dark Victory, Nightmare Alley, dies during heart surgery at 68. In 1961, Guy de Liancourt, French composer, dies at 76. In 1963, Raphael Verwilgen, Belgian architect and urban planner, dies at 78. In 1965, William M. Branham, American evangelist and faith healer, dies from injuries sustained in a car accident at 56. In 1966, Gaspar Casad, Spanish cellist and composer, dies at 69. In 1967, Karl Ristenpart, German conductor, dies of a heart attack at 67. In 1970, Gideon Nzumalo, South African jazz pianist, marimba player, and composer, Jazz Fantasia, dies at 41. In 1971, Maria Koch, German ornithologist known for her work on Peruvian bird species, killed in an air crash in the Peruvian jungle at 47. In 1972, Charles Atlas Angelo Siciliano, Italian-American bodybuilder, dies at 79. In 1972, Ernst Kreuder, German writer, The Attic Pretenders,